All right, so another government shutdown avoided for now. I mean, these things come up so often, it's crazy. The House, though, has approved and will send this funding bill to President Trump. The question, though, is at what cost and why were Republicans the biggest obstacle? Joining me now, Republican Congresswoman from Florida, Anna Paulina Luna. Congresswoman, thanks so much for joining. When you read a headline, "In a government shutdown in sight as Speaker Johnson overcomes GOP revolt," what's going on with the Republican Party?
Well, look, this funding bill was not actually negotiated with members of the House, specifically Republican members. Right. It was negotiated in the Senate, and as you know, the Senate had billions upon billions of dollars in there, and in order to get the Senate support from Democrats, which you wouldn't think that if we controlled the Senate, we would have to go to Democrats for vote, but we do because there are some very, very squishy Republicans. They had to put funding in there specifically for hospitals that are providing surgeries for transgenderism, et cetera. And so there's a lot of stuff in there that, although I voted for the rule, I'm not going to be voting for the actual appropriations bill because, frankly, that's not what my district supports. But again, this is all a part of the negotiation aspect. But I think even bigger topic is really the Senate's response to voter ID. And so if you want to ask me about that, I'd be happy to share.
Yeah, well, you just read my teleprompter. We start with the news at hand just to ease into the main stuff here. So let's get to the entree since you brought it up. I'm going to put up one headline from yesterday. Leader Schumer says SAVE Act will be dead on arrival in the Senate and warns of another GOP shutdown. So let's talk about the SAVE Act because it's not just him. It's another old dude out there, Mitch McConnell, who many say is also holding this thing up.
Yeah, so again, in the Senate right now, they have this thing called the filibuster, and the Republican senators will not vote to remove that, even though it's been one of the main things that have been responsible for holding back President Trump's agenda. But I think what's most important here is that right now, unless the tool of a standing filibuster is implemented, Thune actually does not have the votes to actually get voter ID through in a traditional fashion. And so that's why when you saw my opposition to the SAVE Act, I also understand that Chuck Schumer wants to shut down the government so that he can stop all ICE operations. Let me be clear. Yesterday, Chuck Schumer also said he wants mass amnesty for over 22 million illegals. In fact, they are looking to actively replace American voters with illegal voters. That is from his lips directly. Now, we know that there's overwhelming support from Black, Hispanic, white, Asian Americans for voter ID. Everyone is seeming to have common sense on this topic except for the Senate. And so that is why there have been talks among the senators to include Leader Thune on something called the standing filibuster that actually has to be initiated in the House via parliamentary procedure. And so we will be voting on something called the Save America Act. That's something that President Trump wants and has championed. The Save America Act will include voter ID, but a number of other things that will secure the home front. And so that'll be coming. I think we'll be talking about it here in the next few weeks.
And to your point, 83% of Americans want proof that you have 83% of Americans. This should be a no-brainer. I have to ask you about the congressional stock trading ban. You've done an amazing job pushing this or trying to push this through. I haven't met anyone on either side of the aisle who thinks this is fair. It's nuts. It's crazy. And still, where are we standing? Will a ban ever go into effect? A real ban, not some watered-down version of it.
Most certainly. So we actually have the legislation in place. It's ready to go. It's been passed out of committee, and it will come for a floor vote. I actually just met with Representative Stiles on the floor, who's heading out House admin. That vote will come to a head soon, and then obviously there's a companion bill in the Senate, and the president's also supporting it. But to ensure that it's not going to die in the Senate, because we know that insider trading is happening not just in the House on both sides, but surely in the Senate on both sides, it's going to be attached to a vehicle. And so me, Stiles, the Speaker, were actually talking about that on the floor today. And so we look forward to bringing that through. But again, I had the discharge petition. I was ready to go. And Hakeem Jeffries told his members not to support the discharge petition, which I think was terrible politics, especially going into midterm. Hakeem, why would you ever do that? But again, we got it done amongst ourselves. It's not a perfect bill. I think my bill was better, but it was a negotiation that we could come to.
Yeah, but you know what? We wouldn't be where we are right now with this if it wasn't for you. You used some serious elbows, and you did an amazing job. Thank you so much, Congresswoman. Appreciate you.